Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today we will be reviewing a bigger Transformer, at least relatively big because he's designed to hold a standard, I think 3-inch action figure. So yeah, this will be interesting. But this is a crossover between Transformers and G.I. Joe. Bumblebee AWE Striker, so that's pretty cool. That's the name of the Jeep. It's like a striker. On the top there we have 1 and 2, his two modes. Bumblebee AWE Striker, G.I. Joe. On the back of the box, G.I. Joe Transformers 2022 crossover. And he transforms in 21 steps. You can have him, I guess, use the gun in his robot mode, or you can have Bumblebee holding said gun. And then he transforms in 21 steps, and that's Alonzo Stalker Wilkinson. Let's get him opened up. Alright, yeah, there was something else I did not realize. It is a sleeve for a box that's similar to Generation Select's crossover, Bumblebee AWE Strider. Pretty much the same stuff, although less of it. Top secret. Satellite images reveal collaboration between the enemy and the other hostile agents in disguise. Rendezvous at the motor pool for debrief. While there may be more than meets the eye, knowing is half the battle. Ha! Combining both of them. Alright, so here we have them out of the box. And this is how he comes, as is the cage, the roll cage, that's not attached. The gun, of course, isn't necessarily going to be attached. And the two antennas for the buggy and all that. Just first thoughts and opinions on him. Very oddly proportioned, but to be fair, they are focusing more on the vehicle mode in this regard. As if you look up here, his arms look like they're kind of cut into because of these big old tires. His forearms, very small, and kind of like really large, long upper arms and tiny, short forearms. So that's pretty goofy. He does have light piping, which is pretty nice. And it's a bright blue, so I do appreciate that in that regard. Let's go ahead and turn that back off. And yeah, he is, like I said, he is, I feel like he comes off as a little more goofy than cool, but I mean, considering that he's meant to be just a Jeep pretty much, or a buggy anyway, like a dune buggy is pretty much what he looks more like. And that also has a robot mode. I'd say it's not too terrible looking, but it is not the greatest either. Right here, the steering wheel is just visible, and then it looks like a little gun right there for the other passenger to use. Oh, wow! I just noticed this. The seats are his feet. That's actually pretty funny, pretty nifty too, I guess. And since they are painted, so as long as you don't have anything scratching up there, they should be fine. But yeah, and it doesn't look like he has ankle tiltage either. But hey, it is what it is. And then this guy, the box looks so cool, and it's a blister pack, so I really don't want to open it because it looks so cool. I might do a separate review for him if I decide to open him, but it does look pretty cool. It's so retro, it's retro styled, so I really don't want to open it. Anyway, Alonzo Stalker Wilkinson on the back. There's artwork with him in Bumblebee, or just a standard one of those Jeeps, striker Jeeps. And then Alonzo Stalker Wilkinson role: Ranger, primary specialty infantry, secondary specialty medic and interpreter, birthplace Detroit. The generals may win campaigns, but it's the sergeants who win the battles, mostly by yelling and kicking butt. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. I'm really torn about whether or not I should open it. I feel like I should, because then I can show off the things he's supposed to do with his alt mode. So I don't know, we'll see. But let's go ahead and set him off to the side for now, and let's figure out how to get all this put into his robot mode. Okay, so to get the roll cage on, you just want to take this and put it on right over here. And of course, it's a very straightforward thing you're supposed to do. But there we are. Get it clicked into place. And yeah, I hope that everything isn't getting in the way of everything else. It looks like that's supposed to be rotated up. There we are. And then these two little holes is where you plug in the buggy antennas. Just slide them on in. Slide on in. There we are. And there he is, looking even more kibbly than before. But hey, it's so you can transform him without parts forming. So yeah, there's that. And then this, of course, can go on his shoulder, which I think seems a little more appropriate, especially if he has a human partner to fire said gun. But I think realistically he could also probably fire himself on his shoulder too. But you can also plug it into his hand, like so. But considering how far it sticks back, come on, and the way his arms are, you're gonna have to do it like this, because you can't really do a whole, well, I guess if you tilt it you can, but even so it just looks pretty bad. So yeah, I feel like overall it's probably better to have it on his shoulder. But yeah, that's about it for his accessories and getting them on. So let's go ahead and take a look at the detail on him. His head appears to be on a mushroom peg and not a ball joint. If it is on a ball joint, it is a very tight one, but I don't want to test it out because it feels more like a swivel, honestly. And if you look through the plastic, which is like pretty much all translucent blue on the back, it looks like there's nothing going in there. So who knows? Who knows for sure? I mean, I'm sure there's a way to figure it out, but I do not want to find out by snapping off his head or something. Which is unfortunate. If either way, it's still, there's no up and down. You can't look up and down, so that's kind of out of the question, unfortunately. And because of that, definitely loses a little bit more points with me. I mean, the face definitely looks really cool, but it's just, if you can't even look down, up or down at all, it's just a little disappointing. Arms can go out that far. Can do pretty much a full 360. Biceps can bend about 90-degree bend there. Get a bicep swivel. Wrist rotation. And let's see. And then you do get waist rotation. Although it is kind of hard with all this stuff in the way. Legs can go forward that far. Back about that far with the kibble in the way, but it can kind of sort of go that far. About 90-degree bend at the knee. Like I said before, no ankle tiltage. So that's about it for articulation. So there's not a whole lot you can do with him other than stand him up and I don't know, make him hold his gun, or have Wilkinson operate the gun turret. So that's pretty much about it for that. But like I said, I feel like this is more geared towards the G.I. Joe side of it. So if you're thinking about it that way, it's more for G.I. Joe, but that's also Transformer. Not the biggest deal. It's transforms, so we'll see. So speaking of transformation, I think that's next on our to-do list. Okay, so getting him into his vehicle mode is actually kind of fun. A little more frustrating getting back into robot mode. But that's mainly just getting all this right in here to collapse in properly. Okay, so first off, I'm going to go ahead and take the gun off. And, okay, so first thing you want to do, I mean, it can be the first thing, it doesn't have to be the first thing, but you can go ahead and just clip his legs together. And then, pretty much just pull his back apart. Pretty much just get him all extended out and stuff, and then you just kind of get his head up like that, and then you get his arms pulled out, and just pushed back in, further down pretty much. Just untab, unclip, and just put down like so. There we are, like so. And then you just kind of rotate his head down, sort of. It's the platform his head is on. And if you look down here, underneath, you'll see what I was confirmed. It is on a mushroom. It's not a ball joint, which is very annoying. But you get all this tabbed in nicely like this. And then collapse this down, rotate these around. Okay, let's see. And this tabs in right up here. Tabs in right there. You can, if you want to, go ahead and get the antennas rotated up. The hands, you can just kind of rotate them off to the side for now while we work on the legs. And now you'll see why his thighs are so thin. It's so that well, there's more clearance. But before we do that, let's go ahead and extend this out, flip around. Come on, there we are. That forms like, I guess, where you step onto to get into the vehicle. Extend, flip out, tab it in place, then just extend the seats out, and then fold this, and you'll see these two tabs tabbed right there, and it helps hold the legs together. Come on, tab into place. That should help hold, like I said, hold them together. And then kind of mostly got him into his vehicle mode. I guess you can go ahead and put his arms back. And you might want to rotate him to where the gray is showing instead of the yellow, but that's probably up to personal preference as to what you'd rather have showing. I guess I'll do it to where the yellow isn't showing. Let's see, rotate. And then just kind of get this all lined up. And one thing that does potentially concern me is that a lot of this where things tab into place relies on the roll cage attachment. So if that ever comes really loose, it's not going to hold together the greatest in his vehicle mode. But anyway, okay, actually, it's easier first, and everything wants to go everywhere, is if you tab the seats into the back first, right in there, which is still also on the roll cage attachment, which is, I wouldn't say extremely disconcerting or anything like that, but it is a little nerve-wracking in that regard. Okay, what now? Why aren't you cooperating? You are working fine. There we are. Okay. I guess the thighs or legs weren't quite aligned right. But, yeah, you get... Oh, come on. But as you can see... Okay. Okay, there we are. It doesn't want to cooperate as much on camera, for whatever reason. It feels like it's a law of the universe. Anyway, on the other side... tab in as well. Make sure everything tabs in, and then this tabs in right here and right here. Rotate the steering column down, rotate the gun up, and rotate the front bumper down with the headlights. And here we have him in his vehicle mode. And it is a nice buggy. Nice military buggy, which I actually quite like. He does roll pretty well. The roll cage, and obviously you can hold 2 figures, 3 if you want to put one up back here to be the gunner. So there's a lot that you could do with this. And like I said, I feel a little guilty for not opening up Wilkinson, but I really don't want to open up because the packaging looks so nice, and I just don't really mess around with normal action figures that much, especially if they seem a little bit more collectible, because it's like, but I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, his vehicle mode, absolutely amazing. Like, considering that this, I mean, from the side and front, it doesn't even really look like it transforms. That's what's really cool about this, and that's why I get a little more, alternator vibes from this guy is because alternators focus on the vehicle mode, although I've never gotten my hands on one. I might try to get one eventually, but I've heard that they are notoriously hard to mess with and transform. But yeah, the only thing that really indicates robot mode is his chest on the back, but even that still kind of blends, and that's why I think Hound would have been better, because he could still had the same colors and it wouldn't have stood out as much. And on the back, not the back, the bottom, I guess you can see his crotch, but I mean, that's not too noticeable. And then his hands. And I guess he does have a little bit of hollowness in his forearms, but that's not too noticeable. I didn't even really notice it until I rotated his arms around. So, yeah, I mean, obviously this guy is going to be a little bit hollow because he has just everything. Like, he has to accommodate holding action figures. So I think he gets a pass on most of his hollowness, so I don't really care too much. Although Megatron is supposed to be really bad for hollowness, so we'll see, because spoilers, he's going to be the next guy that I review. So, yeah, that's about it for Transformers G.I. Joe crossover for Bumblebee and Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.